FedEx, the world every time. Brett, let's just jump right into some hockey on Monday night, though. There were some amazing lines out here. I had a hard time choosing which games I wanted to be on. How about you?
I gotta be honest with you, Higgins. There was one that kind of just stuck out to me, and I kind of was like, "Ooh, I like that," and I really didn't need to look at much else. So I jumped right into this Kings Blues game, and I saw the over under was currently set at 5.5, with the over at -108. So the juice a little bit in my favor, only 2 cents, but I'll take it. That's better than nothing, right? That's like a little gift from the sports books, and
Slight gift.
I felt like these two teams can certainly put the puck in the net, and the Kings certainly aren't stopping anyone from putting the puck in the net. So I like this over 5.5, Higgins.
You know my feeling about over 5.5s. I love the play. They've treated me dirty a little bit recently, which has me a little more hesitant, but I'm never going to tell you to not take an over 5.5. It's the lowest you're going to see. Although, actually, Brett, shortly before game time in the Philadelphia Flyers Boston Bruins game, in Oregon at least, the line dropped to -4.5. It was like a minus
Wow.
268 line, but there was so much play on the under 5.5 that it actually dropped to a 4.5 play. The Bruins scored like seven though. Like they hit the over on their
On
own.
their own. That's great. That's so funny. Oh, man. That's sports betting.
That is sports betting. Now, Brett, like I said, I had a hard time picking which games I wanted to be on. I did find a parlay I love of two money lines: Sabres Islanders and the Flames Maple Leafs. Now, if you look at it, I like the Islanders, who are the favorites at -160, and I like the Maple Leafs, who are the favorites at -165. Put them together, and that's a plus 161 parlay for those two. And I think it's a fantastic job when you consider that the Buffalo Sabres and the New York Islanders recently played each other. It did not go well for Buffalo. New York won 3-1 and 3-0. Honestly, don't feel bad if you want to take the Islanders on the puck line because they've won by multiple goals in both games they've played them. I'm staying with the money line though because I think they're going to get another win at home. By the way, both those games were in Buffalo. This game's in New York. Toronto, this game's in Toronto against Calgary, and guess what? They also have a good history against Calgary this season. They've played them 3 times. They beat them all 3 times in Calgary. Why would I expect that to be any different in Toronto? So I'm taking some evidence of these teams playing previously. They won on the road. Why shouldn't they win at home in both instances? And plus 161 was good enough pairing for me.
Yeah, and we have to remember that these teams will play 8 times this year, Higgins. So a lot of games. So, this won't be the last time these teams meet either. So you'll have more times to play these trends.
Absolutely. This is the first of a 2 game series between Toronto and Calgary, and it's a single game between New York and Buffalo, actually. I think it's a game that they were making up that was postponed earlier at the beginning of February. So, interesting little tidbit right there. But I think they've already played each other. It kind of speaks for themselves early on, and they're familiar with each other. They're division opponents. But moving to the West, because I do have another pick in the NHL, Brett, and moving to the West, Colorado Avalanche are hosting the Vegas Golden Knights, and both of these teams pretty good, near the top of the West Division. St. Louis is at the actual top, but both of these teams are right behind. Vegas has 21 points, just a point back of St. Louis. Colorado 19 points, 3 back of St. Louis. A game with some big implications, if you will, even if it's this early in the season. You got some top dogs fighting it out, and I like Vegas, the underdog here, and kind of for what we were talking about earlier. They play a lot. The Avalanche grabbed the last two. They've played 3 times already. Vegas won the first one, Avalanche won the next two. All were single goal games. I feel
Yeah,
like Vegas is going to take this one back.
yeah. Well, their last one was quite a weird experience at the Lake Tahoe Winter Classic. I want to say there was like an 8-hour delay in the middle of it. So I would kind of throw that last game out the window and just kind of say that's a weird game, probably not much to base much off of. But, you mentioned the other one that they played, and I do think this is a big game, Higgins. These teams are towards the top of the West, like you said.
And so I think with these games, if you also look at it, Brett, each of these teams have a goalie listed as out. For Vegas, it's Lehner who's out, and for Colorado, it's Miska. That leaves Marc-Andre Fleury facing off against Grubauer. This is Fleury's 7th straight game. This is Gruber's 4th. However, if I'm going to trust a goalie to go back to back to back and have to deal with that while the other goalie on the team is out, I trust a 3-time Stanley Cup champion over a guy that's on the Colorado Avalanche without a Stanley Cup.
I mean, that's fair. Although Gruber's, I mean, he's played pretty well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he has a 1.67 goals against.
Right.
Fleury has a 1.71. I'm not taking anything against Grubauer, but if you have to put me, you know who's gonna be in the net, Fleury versus Grubauer, and you have two teams that have been back and forth in terms of their games already this year. I'm taking the 3-time Stanley Cup champion. It's just that simple. And especially if he's a dog at plus 110 on the money line, give it to me.
All right, take the champ. Fine. I'm with it. I'm with it. Take the champ.
And this is someone that, as we've noted, likes the Flyers, who's taking someone that won 3 with the Penguins. As it is. As it is.